My Big Fat Pull List is the name of this highly produced special mission podcast. Its purpose? To provide deep dives for the listeners covering comics, games, movies, and all things pop culture.
It is a foe Batman can see and hear, but he cannot touch. It will strike only once, yet will change his life forever. Already weakened by a devastating plague, Gotham City is struck by an unexpected force of nature, an earthquake that registers over 7.5 on the Richter scale. How's it going, Pull Listers? Welcome back to our new episode. I am Dragonus Prime. I will be taking you all through a wobbly, shaky part of Batman Cataclysm story arc. I was talking to you about part 1. I'm going to be 2 parts on this because it's a big story. But before I get farther, I want to introduce my wonderful co-hosts here. To my right, I
am Dr. Impact.
And to my left, I have...
Hold on 1 second.
Yes, he's right.
Pistol Danger here, producing on the fly.
Wow, that was a...
It's a
You
good
could
thing.
add my name in here.
It's a good, we'll put the,
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. And it's a good thing that we have, like those little cubbies with like things here in our
studio.
Our very realistic looking spaceship that we fly around in. Yeah.
Cabinet.
Yep.
That was quite an ominous beginning there.
Yeah.
Prime.
I thought he was farting. That's what I thought that was. Something you can see.
It does
like
cause...
different levels.
My farts do cause 7.5 on the Richter scale.
That's fair.
They do.
They
do.
are legendary.
Yes, I grew up with them, and you know.
So, what's shaking, guys? How are we doing?
Evidently, Gotham.
Yes, Gotham is shaking, and it is catastrophic. And like I said, I'm going to talk to everyone about Batman Cataclysm.
Okay.
Which was the precursor storyline leading up to my favorite Batman story arc, No Man's Land.
That's your favorite of all time?
Favorite of all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's certainly up there for me. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's definitely up there.
I just love... Well, okay. It's the first part of No Man's Land is my favorite. The whole turf war stuff.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that where they're fighting over...
They're marking it.
Yeah, I love that. And it's great to the end as well. But it's my favorite. And I like Nightfall. I like War. I like Bruce Wayne Murderer and Bruce Wayne Fugitive.
Those I've never read.
I like Into the Red Hood. I like Hush. I've read a lot. I'm not a huge Batman fan, ironically enough.
Doesn't sound like
I was
it.
going to say,
I know. Like, Pull Listers, crazy enough, Batman is not in my top 5 go-to heroes, yet 80% of my graphic novels of DC graphic novels are Batman related. Maybe he is then. I don't know. Maybe we all just came to a realization that Batman's like one of my favorite superheroes.
I think we did.
I think so.
I think we had a breakthrough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. Pull Listers, I'm going to talk to you about my favorite superhero, Batman.
Number 1 with a bullet, baby.
On that note, though, listeners, if you would like to hear Prime, or any of us for that matter, go into detail on any of those other storylines, any of them all, obviously, when we get back to our continuity history of DC, we'll hit everything. And of course, we'll spend a lot of time on Nightfall because that's quite important. But if you guys want to hear, any of that stuff in more depth, certainly hit us up. You know how to reach us through all of our social media outlets. We're out there everywhere except for the chat of Snap because we don't do that.
Nope. We're too old to figure that out.
We're too old for that. But, hit us up. Let us know. And we're all about making him do it.
And apparently, since Batman is my favorite, I'll be happy to read it.
Yeah. So Cataclysm. So what are we covering in part 1?
Cataclysm, overall, is a massive story arc. It has 9 different writers, such as Chuck Dixon, Denny O'Neil, and Rick Burkett, to name 3 of the big ones.
Okay. Wow, Denny O'Neil was still...
Denny O'Neil.
Oh, okay, all right.
15 pencilers, including Jim Aparo, Scott McDaniel, Rick Burkett, and Alex Maleev among the 15.
Alex Maleev? It must be like some of his earliest work.
I think it is, yeah.
Before Daredevil, right?
It would have to be.
It would have to be before Daredevil, yeah.
13 inkers, including Sal Buscema. And 18 colorists, 8 letterers, and 7 editors.
Good Lord.
This was a massive story arc, and this was just the beginning of an even bigger storyline. So, and to say that this is a group of some top-tier talent, I think would be putting it extremely mildly. It is covered across quite a few books. Detective Comics 719 through 726, Batman 553 through 559, Batman Shadow of the Bat 73 through 79, Nightwing number 19 to 20, Robin number 52 through 54, Catwoman number 56 and 57, Azrael 40, and then 3 one-shots that were built into it. Batman Blackgate Isle of Men, Batman Huntress and Spoiler, and Batman Arkham Asylum Tales of Madness.
And listeners, you can get that complete list that Prime has put together here by grabbing a piece of paper and a pen and playing this section over and over again and writing that down.
Yep, because we're not going to say it again.
No.
Or, if they really want to, it's kind of hard to find now. There's a graphic novel out there, which I left back at my home base station, unfortunately. It has the complete, all of these, in chronological order.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, it's very helpful.
Check out Amazon. Who knows?
Yeah.
We're not going to link anything.
It's
Figure it out yourself.
It's on Amazon. I think it was like $60-$70 last time I looked.
Okay.
So it's not terribly priced, but it's still a little high valued. But you get a ton of books.
Yeah.
And it's nice that they've put them in the correct order because
Right.
I've noticed, I don't know if you guys have found this or not, but so many of these trades come out that have multiple titles in them on a crossover. And
They just flat them in there wherever.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
X-Men 1 through 7.
Yeah.
Then the 2 side stories that actually happen in the middle of it or after that. So you have to yes.
Like I think I have the oversized hardcover of Civil War. And of course the 7 issues are there, and I think that there's like 1 or 2 of the one-shots that are in there. But the 7 issues are in there first. And then the one-shots. Well, the one-shots take place during, and it's like the war's over by then.
Yeah.
Like, why? I don't want to have to like bounce back and
Yeah.
forth in one book. So it's nice that
They do that. IDW does this a lot too with their when they had Transformers and the Teenage Mutant Turtles. Like
they do a lot with the Turtles.
I love when, like you said, when companies publish books like that because it makes it easier to read.
It's just helpful to us, the fans.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, let's
So,
dive into this then.
You ready to crack this open?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. What do we got?
So, starts off in Detective Comics number 719. This is pretty much almost like an episode of Almost Gotham. There's a guy who's on a prison boat. They're taking him over to Blackgate Island, and he's with a couple other prisoners. I think it's Blackgate, the prison. Isn't that then Gotham?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I think
what
it
thought.
is, isn't
For
it?
some reason, I was thinking Rikers, and I was like, no, that's a real prison.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
no, that, yeah.
Yeah, so Blackgate. They're taking him over across the island of Blackgate, and he's with the other couple of criminals, and he's talking about how he almost got the Batman, and he had the Batman on the ropes, and the whole book is like talking about that, and there's a bunch of pages where half the panels are his depiction of what happened, and how him and his high-tech other gang guys broke the place open and robbed this place.
Yeah.
And the other half is what really happened, which is a bunch of low-tech gangsters who just got the crap beat out of them by Batman.
All right.
And it goes back and forth throughout that whole thing. And then at the very end of that issue, well, close to the end of that issue, they get to the island, and this bat flies overhead and casts a shadow of the guy. He kind of freaks out, and everyone laughs at him. It's a fun little issue, but the main reason this is in part of Cataclysm is the last, 4 or 5 pages. And that the last 4 or 5 pages, we are introduced, I'm assuming, I haven't read before this, but I'm assuming this is her first appearance, of a character named Jolene Relazzo.
Okay.
Okay.
She is a seismologist who was hired by an unknown blind trust fund, Bruce Wayne, to try to measure seismic activities in Gotham City.
Okay.
Because everyone's been, everyone's like, oh, we're on a fault line, but Gotham's not going to have an earthquake. Everything's going to be fine. And Bruce Wayne, being Batman, because Batman has to know everything.
Yeah.
He's like, no,
I need to.
shit's going down. I'm hiring this girl on the low, and she's going to register stuff. And she's noticing, some activity in her thing.
Foreshadowing.
And that's how that issue is. Like I said, the beginning part, the fun story, but that's where it really gets going.
Okay.
And so she's there, and she tries to call her employer, and the phone rings, and she can't get through, and the next panel is it ringing and ringing in the Batcave.
Oh, okay.
So,
And that issue is in the trade, right?
Yes.
So I mean, then it's not really just a loose connection prelude. It is actually they consider it part of canon of the storyline.
Yep, they do.
Okay.
So that is the first start of it. The next start is a Shadow of the Bat number 73.
Okay.
In that one, the earthquake hits.
Shadow of the Bat, number 73, is where the earthquake actually destroys the city.
Yeah, where it starts destroying the city.
Oh, okay.
It goes through like 5 or 6 issues destroying the city. So the earthquake hits. Batman's in the mansion with he's in there with Alfred. Batman gets trapped in the cave and is almost hit by debris. A giant piece of stalagmite or rock or something crashes down and destroys the Batmobile.
Okay.
Alfred gets like a bunch of stuff falling on top of him, so he's got like beams above, like what happened to Batman in Batman Begins.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. When he's like, you do all those push-ups, but yeah.
So that happens to Alfred, who doesn't do the push-ups that Bruce Wayne does.
I imagine he does not.
So all that's going on at Wayne Manor. It's just getting decimated. While that's happening, Barbara Gordon is Oracle at this time, where she's in her wheelchair and working as Batman's girl in the chair. And she's in the clock tower, which was like right next door to like Gordon's Gotham police. And the earthquake starts happening there. Thankfully, her clock tower doesn't collapse.
Okay.
Her clock tower was built, you find out, by Wayne Enterprises. Wayne Enterprises, Batman being like, I think an earthquake is coming, made sure all of the buildings that he built are earthquake safe.
As you do.
Now, of course, that doesn't mean there's not any destruction, because an earthquake ravages even earthquake-safe buildings.
Yeah.
You would know from L.A.
Yes, I mean, sort of. I mean, all the
Well,
earthquakes that occurred when I lived in L.A.
We're tiny.
They were either smaller or they all happened while I was sleeping.
Oh, okay.
There. Yeah.
And while most people that I know woke up, I apparently sleep so soundly
He does.
that I slept through every single earthquake that I experienced. I'm using air quotes if you're only listening. I slept through all of them. So
Well, be that as it may, Rumpelstiltskin. Wait, no, that wasn't Rumpelstiltskin.
No, he would be Sleeping Beauty.
That's right.
Yeah,
Anyway.
there you go. Aurora is her name, I believe.
Oh, that's a good name for
sure,
you.
let's go with that.
Sure. I don't know.
Her tower is fine because Batman built the tower.
By hand himself.
Right. So she's fine in that building that she's at now. And then we cut to the mall where Harvey Bullock's at the mall buying a cigar, because apparently you can buy cigars in Gotham malls. I don't know if you can do that in our malls or if you can do that in malls across the country.
Probably.
But Harvey's
Maybe
buying a
so.
cigar. He's buying cigars at Gotham Mall when an earthquake hits. When the earthquake hits, while he's also there, Anarchy is there, and this is that time in the early 2000s when they were kind of making Anarchy somewhat of a good guy.
Okay.
Where he was like that anti-hero kind
Yeah.
of thing. I guess that's my next question real quick as like a side thing. These came out in the early 2000s, or
Yes.
were these in the late 90s?
Late 90s,
Late
98.
90s? Okay. I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it was right around when Anarchy was kind of a nebulous good guy, bad guy, but he's still wanted by the police. So while the quake's hitting, Bullock and Anarchy end up hiding in the same place, and Bullock's like, hey, you're under arrest. And Anarch's like, yeah, sure, but we got problems. And Bullock and him work together to save people. And all
Okay,
that.
that's nice.
Yeah, so he actually lets him do
go.
his thing. After that, Anarchy, he runs one way, Bullock goes the other way. Excuse me. Barbara, then it goes to her. She's leaving the clock tower, heads over to the Gotham City Police Station, and she's trying to find her dad, who she doesn't realize is buried under rubble there, because that's explained in another issue. But she goes there to try to do that, as well as try to bring up morale with the other officers there. The end of the issue cuts back to the Wayne Manor, where it shows Batman dangling in a massive chasm by his cape being attached to a rock.
Oh, like he got stuck, you mean?
Yeah,
And
and he's unconscious, it looks like.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of where that's the first, it just hits and everything gets decimated in that issue.
That's what happens during an earthquake. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we jump to Nightwing number 19.
As we do.
Right. And that one, Dick races over to Gotham from Bloodhaven to try and find Bruce. And to give some...
So he is in Bloodhaven at this point.
yes, this is Bloodhaven. This is just before he becomes a cop. Because he's contemplating becoming a cop.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
Right.
I remember that. Yeah.
It's not as important to the story later on, so I don't note it. But I will say, there's a conversation later on with him and Batman where he talks about wanting to become a cop. And Batman's like, are you sure? And he's like, well, yeah, I want to do what I can to help people on both sides. And Batman's like, well, you're going to have a gun. What are you going to do if you have to shoot somebody?
Gun a mother down.
Well, there's that, yeah. But it was just an interesting, like, and Dick's like, well, I'm going to do everything I can to not shoot him. You know, the very superhero. Well, like I said, that wasn't pertinent to the story. I just thought I'd bring it up.
Sure. Yeah.
So anyway, he rushes across Gotham City, trying to get to Wayne Manor, trying to find Bruce, trying to find Alfred, making sure everything's okay. Along the way, he sees that there's a bus stuck in another chasm where it's filling up with water, so he rushes down there to save people, and that's kind of what happens in that story.
Okay.
There is a subplot in this that's not also very much involved with this, but it's about, it was during also that time when there was that other Nightwing, the NITE Nightwing, the blonde-haired guy.
Nope. Not even registering.
Oh, that sounds very
Yeah, he was like,
familiar.
he tried to be a vigilante, but he was like really brutal about it, if I remember right, or something like that.
Yeah, it was like a anti-Nightwing or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
But and you're right. It was spelled NITE wing instead of
No.
I have nothing on this guy.
Yeah.
vaguely recall.
You could show me a picture and I'd be like, nope.
Like, that's all there is in this story about it. I thought I'd bring it up, though, because it was in there. But that's pretty much the issue, is him trying to get there, but saving the people in the bus.
Okay.
Because he's going to try to, because it's Nightwing, he's raised by Batman, he's going to try to save as many people as he can.
Well, you're a good person. You're just going to try anyway.
Right. We go to Batman number 553 now. And in this one, Lucius Fox is in Wayne Towers with a bunch of other Wayne employees when the quake hits. Now, granted, they're in a Wayne building, so they're pretty much safe up there, but they're watching, and you see out the window them looking at Gotham just being ravaged and fires erupting everywhere, and they're just like, oh dear God, what is happening?
Yeah, thank God we're safe.
Right. While that's going on, you see what happened to Gordon. Gordon went to the roof to hit the bat signal. The roof caved in and collapsed, and Gordon got stuck under rubble.
Ooh.
Oh.
He got out. He's fine. But that's what happened to Gordon.
Okay.
Batman gets himself free from dangling from his death.
Of course.
And gets back up to the Wayne Manor main floor, where he shows Alfred why he does so many push-ups and rescues Alfred.
Yeah. He push-ups the beams off him.
Right.
Like he squeezes under Alfred and goes, okay, good.
Yeah, that was exactly... He even coated himself in butter.
Oh, smart. So smart.
So that he can slip.
Prepared for everything. Bat butter. As you were
that's what it
prepared.
was, yeah. Sure. From his bat belt.
Yeah.
So anyway, yes, he does that and gets him out of the rubble.
Okay.
Barbara Gordon now shows her going into the station, trying to find her dad, and is essentially realizing how much chaoticness is going on there, how everyone's all frazzled. She takes command and is like, you do this, we need to do this, we need to... And she starts taking over and taking control of that.
Because she's a Gordon.
Right.
That's how police officer, like, chiefships work. Like, it's a fealty.
Yeah.
So she does that, raising morale. The issue ends with Batman and Alfred talking about, Batman, I've got to get over there. I've got to get back to Gotham. I got to help people.
Okay.
He can't get there with the way the roads are right now. He's got to go through, of course, a dangerous tunnel through the Batcave to swim through because...
Well, naturally, of course.
So Batman grabs scuba gear and he goes diving into the tunnel.
Well, you got to use your bat scuba gear.
Right,
You gotta,
right.
You have toys to sell. Damn it.
I was just going to say, how else are you going to sell another action figure if you don't show the new costume?
It's not a different costume. He literally just puts on a scuba tank and a breathalyzer.
Oh, even cheaper then. You just re-release
I was going to say, you just use
now with scuba.
All you have to do is, you don't even have to do a new sculpt of the head. You can just put in a new accessory.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's why we're not making money, guys.
I know, because we don't
Keep
have
releasing different toys,
we don't have scuba gear, pistol danger, and hang gliding, Dr. Impact.
Yeah, which by the way, your hang glider looked really good the other day.
Oh, thank you.
You can tell you're working on it.
So Batman goes through the tunnels. Alfred's like, "Are you going to be all right? Stuff's still happening. You could collapse. You could die in there." Batman's like, "I've got to do it for Gotham."
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. So Batman does his thing, and that's where the issue ends. Is Batman swimming? That was my...
Yeah, no, I got it. Just like, will Batman survive the swimming and Batman number 554 come out? No, he actually dies.
Yep.
There's no more. Yeah,
That's it.
Oh, well, all right, you guys knew about the story. I'm done.
Yep. Good night. Thanks for watching, guys.
So the next issue is Azrael number 40. It's
Okay.
the only Azrael tie-in in the entire thing.
So it's like him checking voice messages and being like, there's he's just like, he presses play. There's been an earthquake in Gotham. He just hits delete. Like you just see him turn around and back to his couch. Not fucking with this.
That would have been better.
Fucking Azrael.
It's kind of a dumb
Nerd
story.
ass fucking Batman.
Bane is being transported, a prison transport, with a helicopter, and he escapes during the earthquake, and Azrael hunts him back down. Because this is right after Nightfall, where they built this whole rivalry with Bane and Azrael.
Right. So let me get this straight. Because of an earthquake, a flying machine...
I think they landed, if I remember.
Okay. I was going to be like, oh no, there's an earthquake. It's shaking us in the sky. It's a skyquake, too.
Hey, it could have happened with the blah blah device.
Yeah. You can take a lot of liberties in comics. Not going to give you fucking an earthquake.
Now I want to create a villain called Skyquake.
Yeah, all right.
There's a Transformer called Skyquake.
Never mind.
So that's Azrael 40.
Okay.
It's not really... It's in there because it's part of the story, but it's blunt.
Fair enough.
Then we go to Detective Comics 720.
Mm-hmm.
This one deals a whole lot with Huntress. She's on a subway train when everything starts to go to shit. She ends up, there's like a guy on, she ends up like helping people escape the tunnel, but there's like this, of course, because it's Gotham, there's like a mafia-esque dude on there who recognizes that she's Huntress. Mm-hmm. And he like shoots at her and gets her to run off and takes the other people hostage so that way she doesn't like kill him, because that's Huntress's thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And she ends up obviously stopping the guy and saving the people, but that's pretty much what happens with Huntress during part of this.
Mm-hmm. And just to clarify, listeners, when Prime is talking about Huntress, this is the what's her name, Helena Bertinelli, I think is the last name.
Is there a different one now?
There's 3 of them, aren't there?
There could be a third. I don't know. I know that the other one was Helena Wayne, which was the daughter of Bruce.
That was Earth.
Yeah,
She was from Earth 2.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I'm clarifying is because at the time of us recording this episode, there is a current Justice Society of America book going on that is written by Jeff Johns, and in that book, the focal character is Huntress, but it is Helena Wayne.
Okay. Oh. I thought there was a third who took over from Bartonella.
Okay.
I could be remembering that wrong.
But at this point in time, so Helena Wayne was retconned out. Go back and check out our history of DC continuity.
Crisis, right?
At Crisis, she was retconned out, and so when they wanted to bring Huntress back in, they had to change her name, and so they made her Helena Bertinelli. Why is the Earth 2 pre-Crisis one back in current continuity? I don't know. That's a whole nother podcast.
Maybe we'll cover it later if you want. But until then,
old or new again.
Yes. Until then, this is Helena Bertinelli.
Correct. The daughter of a mafia guy.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So she ends up stopping the guy. By the way, while that's happening, Alfred's in the cave trying to do what he can down in the cave, and he's hearing rumbling in the walls. When the wall caves in on him with a giant bulldozer truck barreling behind it. And here's a random character. I don't know if you guys remember. Harold comes in. Do you guys remember Harold?
With the purple crayon?
No.
Oh.
Harold was the
I don't know.
the hunchbacked mute guy that worked for Batman that helped repair his stuff. It was like a random... Batman rescued him. Yeah, he was an obscure character from the 90s.
Nope.
Look him up.
I think Prime's making this one.
Look him up, poll listers. Harold.
Pistol's doing the fact checking now.
Type Harold and Batman. You'll probably see a kind of a Quasimodo looking dude in overalls.
Okay.
And he used to work on Batman's stuff with him.
Interesting. I didn't know about that character.
Yep.
Okay.
So he came barreling in, and he is helping Alfred with the cave now. Because Alfred's like, oh, Harold, I'm so glad to see you.
Wow.
Harold Allnut. There it is.
Yep.
Motherfucker.
Harold Allnut.
First appearance. The first appearance is the question. So yeah, okay, whatever. All right, keep going. Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah.
All right.
While that's going on, we cut to Batman. He's still swimming in the tunnels. And at the end of the book, Batman surfaces to give this, you get this great, oh my gosh type face as he looks as Gotham's burning and crumbling. Because he hasn't seen it.
Because he's been underground.
He's been in the cave.
Right.
So that's where that one goes. Next one is Catwoman number 56. Now the two Catwoman stories, like Azrael's, are just kind of tie-ins as to what Catwoman was doing during all this.
Sure.
This one here, it starts off with Catwoman robbing a department store.
Of course.
Because I don't remember what she's trying to get, like some high fancy like night vision goggles or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, as you do.
Right. It didn't obviously leave a mark on me. But she ends up helping people escape the it's like a tower mall too, like the one in Chicago.
Oh, okay. Like a multi-floor.
Yeah. So she's helping people escape that.
Okay.
And that's about that story there. Now, we go to Robin number 4, or Robin volume 4, number 52.
Okay.
This is Tim Drake Robin, because it's the 90s. Mm-hmm. And it's only like a small snippet of the book. They didn't put the entire book in here.
In the trade?
Yeah, which is kind of nice, because they only put the part that mattered.
Okay.
Oh,
that is nice.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in this snippet, Tim is apparently flying back from some sort of European trip. I don't remember exactly why he was in Europe. I didn't read Robin at that time. But he's coming, only Batman. Batman's my favorite.
As we've ever, right.
He's coming back from Europe, and he's on the phone with his dad, and he's talking to his dad going, Dad, when I get back, I got something important I need to tell you. You need to know about this. It's very important. Like, it sounds like he's going to tell him, I'm Robin.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the phone gets cut off. And he's like, oh, well,
Because it's landlines.
I guess we lost prom, whatever. So he
Because
goes,
it's pre-cell phones,
Right.
or at least readily, accessible cell phones, yeah.
so he goes back to his seat. The captain gets on and says, hey, guys, sorry, but we need to re-land in Bloodhaven because they told us we can't land in Gotham. And it ends with Robin looking out the window, seeing Gotham on fire
Okay.
and crumbling.
So normal.
Right.
Yeah, right. I see. So it's basically just a couple of pages that the writer, they were like, you have to acknowledge what's going on.
Well, Robin
But then-
53 and 54 do take place during Cataclysm.
Oh,
So this-
Okay, so this is just a small setup.
Yeah.
Okay,
In-
got
okay.
it, got it.
This leads up into that.
Got it.
Which takes us to Batman, one of the first one-shots, Batman, Blackgate, Isle of Man.
Okay.
This is a story about a bunch of criminals on Blackgate. And while the thing happens there, it's the main protagonist in this is actually not Batman. He does show up in it because it's Batman. But the main protagonist guy is this guy who's on death row, and he's with his lawyer and a nun, and they're trying to talk to him, and he's like, saying, "Hey, I didn't do it. I'm innocent. You got to help me with this." When the quake hits, he spends the time trying to keep them safe from a criminal who's broken out of it with all this. KG Beast,
Oh, God.
which is a tough guy to keep safe from.
Yeah.
So he's trying to keep one step ahead of KG Beast, at some points even letting free other criminals to both A, rescue them, and B, put stuff in between him and KG Beast.
Okay.
Batman also shows up, of course, in the middle of this, because he comes up out of water right near Blackgate, which, why is Blackgate so close to Wayne Manor, first of all?
So we can keep a good eye on it.
I was just going to say,
That's a good point.
keep your friends close and your enemies closer, man.
That's a good point. But he comes up next to Blackgate, so he goes, oh, there's stuff going down over there. I need to go help. Because another problem has happened when the earthquake hit. A land bridge has formed between Blackgate and Gotham City. So a bunch of criminals have made their way off the land bridge. One of them, and this is important for part 2, is Clue Master.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. A few of the other ones, I think like Ratcatcher 1 is one of them, and a few other notable, C-list, D-list notable villains.
People who don't belong in Arkham.
I would say people that are not as psychotic
Yeah.
enough to go to,
But they make it across the land bridge. While Batman's trying to stop some of those getting across the land bridge, he's also trying to help save the guards that are in the prison. He's saying, he's getting on the comms going, we need to get these people in here. And people in the helicopters are like, who's that talking to us? Because he's Batman, he hacks everything.
Bruce Wayne.
Right. And he ends up getting the rest of the cons taken care of. And when an aftershock hits, when the aftershock hits, the land bridge collapses back again. So any of the prisoners that were running on the land bridge, they die.
Okay.
Also, when the aftershock hits, a bunch of rubble starts to a big chunk of this thing starts to collapse in again, and we're back, and we're showing the guy who's with his lawyer and the nun.
Okay.
And he's holding up this stuff, trying to you guys need to get away, get to the roof. They'll protect you up there. I heard stuff going on up there. And while he's holding it, this whole time he's sitting there talking about how he's innocent. He tells them, "Look, guys, I'm going to be real with you. I'm dying here. I did it. I really did it."
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
And then he dies as the stuff collapses on him. So this whole issue, you're thinking he's doing everything he can to save these, but he wanted to do one last good thing before he died.
Okay.
Wow. I love that when you get that in a crossover. I love when tie-ins and things like that to crossovers really just kind of show what else is going on during the events.
Yeah.
But I also love it when you get just how is the events of this massive arc affecting regular people. The
mundanity of it.
Yeah, right. Yes, exactly. I love that kind of stuff.
And there's a lot of that in here, which I'll be honest, I left a good chunk of that out in this.
Well, I mean, you can only
you
cover
have
so
to.
much
Right.
in a...
But there is a lot of that in this as well, where you see the mundanity.
Sure.
Okay.
But that's pretty much Batman, Blackgate, Isle of Man, with him, Batman leaving then and going to Gotham. So now we cut to Shadow of the Bat number 74. And in this one, Batman finally gets to Gotham.
Okay.
It has taken him this long to get to Gotham. And he instantly starts helping people.
Of course.
Because he's jumping into buildings, getting people safe and all that. At one point, he helps a few homeless people who are about to die and get crumbled. There's like a blind homeless guy, a mute homeless guy, and he helps them get out as well.
It spawns friends from the alley.
It probably it could have been based off of them.
I mean, who knows?
It also cuts to Bloodhaven, where we show Tim talking to police, saying, I need to get to Gotham. My dad is in Gotham. My friends are in Gotham.
Yeah.
And the police are like, nah, bro. There's some bad shit going down there. You're not going to Gotham.
Nobody's getting in or out, man.
Right. And he's like, oh, shucks, officer. Okay. Sneaks around and steals a guy's bike and rides off. But he leaves a note saying, hey, had to borrow your bike. Reach out to me. I'll buy you a new one.
Okay.
Of course.
Right. So he takes off and gets into Gotham with a stolen bike. Then we cut back to Jolene Relazzo, who we have not seen.
The seismologist.
The seismologist, who we haven't seen since those first 4 or 5 pages. She's in her apartment, which is, like, if I remember right, she's like living there for basically free because her blind trust is paying for her accommodations.
Is it a Wayne Trust built?
It is a Wayne
How
Trust
about
built.
that?
Son of a bitch. Who would have guessed it?
There is some damage, though, as the big building next door, which is not Wayne Belt Trust, fell into it.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but I mean...
It looked like, the pictures look like the scenes from, like, Dark of the Moon, Transformers, where you have those buildings.
Oh, where, like, those buildings are... Or, like, Man of Steel, where things are crushing in.
It looked like that, but...
What do they call that? They call that...
fucked?
Yeah.
Disaster porn, I think, is what they call it.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I think that's the name. Yeah.
Same thing. So she's in her thing going, oh my gosh, I got to get out of here. I've got to get to, take care of stuff. When a couple of goons break in and kidnap her and take her away and they don't exactly say who they are or why they're kidnapping her in this issue. Next, we cut to Batman again. Batman shows up at Penguin's club.
Okay.
And he comes up to Penguin and he's like, look, man, we got problems, you and I. We don't like each other. But bad stuff's going down now. So here's the deal. You get your goons to help rescue people, and I'll leave alone your offshore businesses for the time being.
Okay.
And Penguin's like, all right, I'll make that deal.
Yeah.
Right. So Penguin's thugs start helping rescue people.
Oh, I like that, yeah.
Right. And then at the end of it, the TV monitors that are still working, a shadowy silhouetted figure shows up, and he's kind of he looks like this kind of almost a big built guy with a bald, almost Mr. Freeze-esque head with like Captain Cold-esque glasses with the slits in them and everything.
Okay.
And he comes on the TV, and he starts talking about how that earthquake that just happened, that was me. I'm the Quake Master, and I'm going to do it again unless you guys give me money.
So it's a ransom thing, basically.
It's a ransom thing. And the Quake Master caused the earthquake. Or did he?
I guess we'll find out.
You'll have to check out in part 2.
I don't think I realized that it was
Somebody who
that
did
it was caused by someone. I thought it was a natural thing.
Well, I guess you'll have to find out in part 2, won't you?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's part 1, though, of Cataclysm. And as you can tell, it's a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when it happened, and I remember thinking it was cool. I don't think I ever read the whole thing, but hearing you talk about even just up to this point and the fact that the trade has everything in order, like it kind of makes me want to buy the trades. You know?
I want to know who Harold is.
Yeah. Oh man, that's what DC needs to put out: a buddy book with Harold and Slam Bradley.
Yep.
That's
DC,
what we need.
Get on that.
Yep. Harold and Slam Bradley.
Harold's probably not even around anymore in the Rebirth era.
I have no idea.
I mean,
No clue.
if Alfred's dead, Harold's dead. Let's just say
Probably.
it like that.
Probably.
So,
Yeah.
on that down note,
Yeah.
Before we head out, guys, we did want to give a quick shout out here. Dragonus Prime and I, we were fortunate enough to be at a convention recently here in the St. Louis area, and we met up with the Side Quest Games and Collectibles. It was a very, very, very cool booth. They got a lot of really cool stuff. So we will include their website in our show notes and in the description below. You definitely want to check them out. They were very cool people, and that was a fun thing.
They had some really neat looking stuff.
Yes, so
definitely for like gaming type stuff.
Yeah, so big shout out to like if you're a gamer especially. I mean, they had a bunch of different things, but like gamer especially. So
like board gamer.
Yeah. So if you're really into that stuff, check out the description, find that link, go check out SideQuest Games and Collectibles. Very cool people. I think you'll be very happy. So yeah. All right. Well, that does it for part 1 then.
Yeah. So you guys ready for go grabbing some food and get to part 2?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Bye.
And now you know. But as they say, knowing is only half the battle. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the show on your favorite platform, and follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and spread the word to all the listeners out there.
And I'm Pistol Danger.
I didn't even think to interrupt.
And we just end it. Why not?
I was like, I blanked.
Yeah,
You're fine.
you're good.